This is my first impressions driving with the Mocha Latte. This is my first impressions driving with the Moza racing ecosystem. Moza have kindly sent me out all this gear. They've sent me a steering wheel, a wheelbase, and pedals to try out. In no way is this like a sponsored video, advertisement, anything like that. They've merely just sent it to me. They want me to make a review, let you guys know what I think, and let them know what I think. I'm going to be honest about it. These are all my own opinions, and in general, good feedback always helps, but rough feedback does help make a better product. So in general, all these opinions are my own, and to help them and to you make an informed decision, and hopefully Moza to continue making what seem to be very well received products by the community. So I'm using the Moza GS V2P steering wheel. This is kind of like their GT Formula-ish wheel, has magnetic shifters, short throw clutch systems, lots of dials, a lot of buttons on the go. You won't be short for buttons with this thing. It has a cool rev light up here, really bright, so I like that, as well as this kind of stamped carbon, which no one has let me know what this is yet. So if you know what the name of this pattern design is, someone let me know. It's going on the R9 wheelbase. It's a 9 Newton meter wheelbase, plenty of power. Now, subjective, I do prefer stronger myself, but I have to say a 9 Newton meter direct drive wheelbase like this should be more than enough. So that's what it's being paired with, and we're using the Moza SRP pedals, which are down there. They're kind of like the Fanatec V3s, similar setup. They're a bit taller, a bit more throw to them. The brake is nice because it has kind of a spring that collapses down and then hits a threshold point, which is a hard elastomer, so you can easily hit 80% and then fine tune where, what do you want, 82, 84, 86, really to stop you from locking up. So I'm gonna try out in the Skip Barber car here. Just let you know my first impressions. Okay, so just pulling out of the pits from Summit Point Raceway, I believe. Firstly, I'm going to break this up into bits. I think that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to start with just the steering wheel. Firstly, it's great to hold. I say once you take this thing out of the box and you hold it yourself, it is quite a strong wheel. It's a very light wheel, but once it's on the wheelbase, you don't feel the lightness anymore. You just feel whatever power you're using it, whether it's the R5, the R9, or the R12, 16, or 21. The grips are good on it. I use gloves, but you don't have to because it's kind of a synthetic leather. Honestly, a lot of grip there, unlike my SimMagic wheelbase, or wheel rim, which has a rubber grip, and that can get quite slippy over time, so you have to use gloves with it. This, not so much, so that's definitely a positive. It does have a rev light bar, which kind of lets you know, excuse my crap driving, I'll do what all the YouTubers say and say it's cold tires. But the rev light bar is cool. It's really in your face. It's nice having the revs follow. I do have a rev light bar over here, which you can see flashing on the back of the wheel, but it is nice to have it on the wheel because it's in your face. LEDs in game, or in your simulator, they're alright, but having it on the wheel in your face, that's a huge thing. Rotary encoders are all easy to get to. Buttons, they have a long click to them. That's quite different to SimMagic. SimMagic is like a super fast, short distance click. These have a long click, kind of like you'd expect it to stay pushed in after. Kind of like a hold-on contact switch or whatever they call it. But all in all, I really like the wheel. There's a bit of plastic down the bottom, which is a bit funky, I have to say, because it's such a good wheel. Anywhere in the wheel that doesn't seem mega will stand out, and for the price of almost €500, I believe, this wheel, maybe that's a picking point, I would say. Maybe if we could get rid of that plastic seam down there, figure out a way to just make it, so it's ended correctly. But if you look up pictures of this, or in my review you're going to see in a while, you may see me talk about this little plastic bit here. All in all, it's a gorgeous wheel, really cool. I would have loved if the ABS light, or the dials in the center, were backlit with an LED, but it's really cool, I have to say. All in all, it's a great feel to it. It's super light, which means you get even more power through your wheelbase. The wheelbase doesn't have to waste power trying to move something really heavy, even though you can't feel it. But yeah. And if I could just jump in just for 0.2 of a second, if I could ask you if you guys could support the channel by dropping a like and a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the Moza gear, if you've had it or haven't had it before. as this kind of engagement is a free and easy way to support the channel and to help get it out there to other racers like yourself who may like to see this hardware or just want to see me drive and know my opinions of it. So thanks very much, guys. Let's get back to it. Yeah, no, really cool. So most importantly now, onto the wheelbase. It's really good. It's very different to what I'm used to. I'm used to the SimMagic ecosystem. SimMagic is very smooth, and I don't mean that in a good or bad way. It's more so kind of like there's a lot more detail with this. Now you can set up a direct drive wheelbase to do pretty much anything you want. I don't think you'd be able to set them up identically because inherently there's different features. Like when it's turned off, you spin a SimMagic wheelbase, there's no feeling to it, where with this you can feel it step through the different stages of the coils, or I don't know, it does something, it intersects with the coils and it kind of has teeth inside. But once you get in the simulator, it's super smooth. You can feel so much road texture. The Moza Pithouse software has a lot of customization for really fine-tuning this thing the way you want, and I was surprised at how fast and easy I was able to get up to speed with it, having never used it before. I have basic knowledge of how to tune a DD wheel through those kind of softwares, so with that basic knowledge I was able to, you know, turn the power up all the way, put the road sensitivity down by 1 because I don't need to feel all the bumps, turned on a tiny bit of wheel friction, turned on a tiny damper, set. That was it. In 1 minute I had this thing ready to go, plug and play. So I have to say that's kind of cool about the wheel. I have found I'm obviously using SimMagic as a comparison, which is kind of fitting because they would be a direct competitor to Moza. My turn-in is a lot better with this, but it's probably because the SimMagic 10 Newton meter wheelbase is really like a 12 or 30, and there's some extra power in there. I don't know why it's not labeled, but you know, if this is a 9 and the SimMagic is a 10, you know, there is quite a jump in between the SimMagic and this. But it depends what you're looking for, because myself, when it comes to wheelbases, I do prefer something stronger. So, you know, ideally I won't be using a 9 Newton meter wheelbase for all my racing. If I did have something stronger, I'd use that more regularly. That's why probably I'll jump back to the SimMagic 10 Newton meter wheelbase soon. But the thing that really gets me, and that I think is worth noting if you are kind of at a toss-up of going for SimMagic or Moza, I do have this wheel on maybe a few days now. I have no urge to take it off. That's worth noting for what it's worth. I don't feel the need to take it off. It's doing the job, you know. It just took a little while to get used to, I think. Like anything, like the first few laps here, it takes a while to get used to a new wheel, like any equipment. But I have to say, like, it is a great wheel, and for most people the power will be enough. I know personally, I know people who use, like, let's say an 8 Newton meter wheelbase, and they say, oh, they don't have it on full power. Perfect for you, you know what I mean? And the thing with Moza is, now I haven't tried it yet, I'd love to, they do offer staged solutions. They've recently released their R3 wheel, so if any of you guys are on Xbox, you can check that out. You know, I'm sure there's plentiful reviews out there. Another wheelbase I'd love to get my hands on, just to see what their kind of G29 competitor is, the modern day, you know. That's really cool as an entry into console, in the console world. But they have the R3, R5, R9 and the R12 in this kind of box format. You have a lot of options to play with there. A lot of people say the 12 Newton meter is the sweet spot. From what I've seen using the SimMagic 9 or 10 Newton meter and using the Moza R9, I'd imagine the 12 would be my sweet spot. But then again, I'd love to try 16 and 23 and 21, all these kind of ones, just to see the fidelity that they offer. I wouldn't have them cranked up all the way, but just so you get that clean signal sent to your arms. So all in all, it's decent, it's clear. There's a lot of road texture, you know, you can feel the paint, the cracks. It's not obviously substantial, you can feel them, but you know I'm driving over paint if I'm looking at it. As the road changes, getting up on the curb here, I can sense that it was banked. You feel it all in your hands. So very competitive wheelbase, I say. So if you're looking into it, it's looking good so far. Obviously it's going to go through my own tests, but no, really, really cool. Temperature so far is still cool, and I have this thing running at, I believe, max. You can check up the top right. Yeah, I'm turning in and I'm flicking into the red, so that's kind of me. I do require a stronger wheelbase, so I'm going to have this little thing gasping for air at the end of races. Yeah, no. First impressions of the steering wheel and the wheelbase are positive. Not surprising though, because I've heard great things about Moza, and as you are probably aware, a lot of people do use Moza, and that's for a very good reason. Onto the pedals. They're simple, I have to say. Would I say they're better than the Fanatec CSL pedals, those new silver ones that came out? So not the V3s. I would. The brake is a very simple design, but it's staged very well, and I got the brake performance kit sent out to me too. 2 different extra springs you can use as preload, and a different elastomer. I haven't changed them because recently I've been using a nice light pedal, and there's no issue. It's very easy to get used to. There's a well-defined point when you calibrate your pedal. You just press down on it real hard until you hit that tough point, which is the black rubber. Push past it a little bit more, and then you press finish, and that's all I did. And basically, you know, I still have some pretty jaggedy trail braking, but that's a skill issue. That's not a... I wish I could say it was Moza's fault, but no, that's a me problem. I gotta work on it. Like, look, I'll try now, huh? There we go, you see? Top right. See that? That's smooth. There we go, bit of trail braking. See again? Smooth. We'll try it again here. There we go. So if I actually try, it works, but I'm just cruising at the moment. So the pedals are good. Throttle is it's light, but that's kind of what you want. I did experiment using a heavy throttle a while ago. Not for me. You can actually damage some tendons doing that kind of thing. You don't realize, but going down a straight and holding your foot down for all that time, especially if you're pressing more than you need to, you start getting some pretty funky little small injuries showing up. So definitely don't want that. But no, throttle, it's just a throttle at the end of the day, you know. It's meant to be simple. Clutch, again, pretty simple old design. I don't use the clutch here, but you know, it's just press down, that's it. But the most important part, the brake on the SRP pedals, I like it. Like hitting my threshold. Let's see, I'll brake at the 3 cones here. There, like I can stay at a threshold and drop it down. Again, that's my magic trail braking because I'm trying to talk and present here, you know. But no, pedals are cool. They're simple. Again, I'd be very curious to see the CRP pedals. I normally use the pedals by VNM. They're over there. I really like those pedals, mainly because they're mine. I researched them quite a lot, but you know, there's lots of pedals out there. At the end of the day, load cell technology is pretty simple. The SRP pedals are 75 kilogram. My VNMs that I use are 200 kilogram load cells, because I just like having that bit of headroom. And again, I do have some pretty strong legs that can kick quite hard, so I do like to have that bit of wiggle room there. But all in all, really, really cool. You know, to conclude, or just give some final thoughts at the moment, would be that if you were to get this bundle, I'd say you'd be pretty happy. Depends what you're coming from, obviously. If you buy a BMW 520i after having a Ferrari Enzo or a LaFerrari, obviously it's going to be, what's this BMW? But if you have a BMW after having a bicycle, well, something different. That feels cool. So if you're coming from a G29 or the Fanatec ecosystem, I say you're going to be really pleasantly surprised. That's where I think the natural stepping stones would be. There's obviously lots of other wheels, Thrustmaster and stuff, but I would definitely say this is not entry level at all. This is defo mid-range, and that's no insult to Moza. Unfortunately, there's just some companies out there who charge crazy money for wheelbases, so they've claimed the high range. But you know, the mid-range does offer very competitive gear. You know, with SimMagic, there's Acetec there. Simucube, I do believe, is up in that high cost range. But like, you know, this wheel here is a forever wheel now. I'm not sure about the warranty. I think everything comes with a 1-year warranty. But still, most gear is like that. I think my SimMagic wheel was like that as well. You'll have to double check the warranty. I'm not very sure about that. I'd be impressed, you know, if you guys got this stuff, or if anyone's looking to get Moza gear, I'm sure if you set it up, you'll be pretty happy with it. Obviously, the one thing you just got to check is the strength. You know, think about it in the sense of, and this is for really people who are watching this video, really looking to buy. Future-proof yourself. Now, it's obviously stupid to be like, hey, just spend more money. That's easy to say to someone, but you know, you could get the SRP pedal set, and after about a month or two, or a year or two, you might be thinking, I should have got the CRP pedal set. You know, I'm pretty strong. I knew I was going to be sim racing for a long time. I should have spent that little bit more, but now instead I need to spend a lot more, and now I have these pedals left over. So have a think about what you're really looking for. So instead of buying a product that fits your needs for a year or two, you buy a product that fits your needs for 4 or 5 years. You know, like if you get a strong pedal set, let's say you get the R12, if you're looking to give yourself that extra bit of headroom, instead of getting an R9 and thinking, damn, my arms are now strong enough for this wheel and they're stronger than this wheel, I wonder what it'd be like to have that extra bit more power. So you can't just throw the car around, because everyone knows with more force feedback you can go faster in sim racing. That's just fact. The stronger it is, the stronger you can handle, the more tighter you can be on your braking, the more tighter you can be on rotation in a corner. So, but the 9 Nm is deadly. So yeah, a bit of a discussion video, but just, you know, just chilling and racing and talking about this gear as I'm experiencing it for you guys. So if you have any thoughts yourselves on the Moza gear, if you've had it before, if you're looking to buy it, pop a comment down below. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you've thought, because I'm very interested to know if you've any tips about how to well use the Moza gear. Do let me know. And if there's any other gear you think I should check out from Moza too, put that down there. I want to know what's worth checking out. I know the R3 is very interesting because that's a really big one. That's like an affordable entry point for people to get in on consoles. So that's cool. I don't know why they didn't do it with the R5 or the R9 to get that onto console, but you know, I think it's really cool that they're catering to that kind of market as well. So that's definitely a +1 in my books. But yeah, no, final thoughts. Good. Bueno. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, leave a comment, and yeah, happy hunting, guys. See you in the next one.